Yes, my people, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing good. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a trade breakdown on how I caught these lovely shorts over here on S&P 500. Now, as some of you guys might know, if you follow my other social medias, recently I've made the switch over from Forex to futures. I still do trade Forex, however, I'm mainly trading futures now. And honestly, since I've made the switch over to futures, my trading has become a lot more consistent. And in today's video, I'm going to be going ahead and giving you guys a trade breakdown on these lovely shorts that I took here on ES. Now, whilst risking 1%, I took two entries on the trade. This one I believe was a 1 to 3, and this one was a 1 to 2.5. So a 1 to 5.5 risk reward ratio trade I caught. And of course, we're not doing on this fake stuff around there. Proof execution will be on the screen. Now, the craziest part about this trade was this secured me a payout after requesting another $8,000 payout of FTMO. As you guys can see, after profit split, 6.4k landed in my account. And as soon as I requested my payout and they reset my account, I took these shorts and I made another $8,000. I literally passed this FTMO account on New Year's. And having this account for less than a month, I've scored 2 payout cycles and made nearly 20k on this account. Nevertheless, before I drop you guys some gems and go into this trade breakdown, you guys make sure you go ahead and join this free Discord server. Link will be in the description. You guys can take away so much from this community alone. We've got so many different channels and it's generally one of the only Discord servers out there that isn't toxic, that isn't going to judge you for being new trading. And generally a community full of like-minded people that are on the same mission, that are on the come up, grinding every day, trying to make this trading thing work. So make sure you guys go ahead and join the server. I'm going to see you guys in there. Nevertheless, let's get straight into this trade breakdown. So as always, you guys know the strategy by now. We start off on the higher time frame. Now, if we go over to the 4-hour time frame, the first thing I can see is the market created this market opening gap. Now, these market opening gaps are very strong points for the market to go ahead and tap into. Why? Because there's a gap in the market that the market needs to go ahead and rebalance. If we break this down further, you guys can also see how we had a market structure shift towards the downside. And initially, when I came onto the market, I was looking for buys, right? I saw how price ended up mitigating this 4-hour imbalance and respecting it, and also swept liquidity. Now, if we go down to the 15-minute time frame, you guys can see this caused a reaction in the market. It initially led to a market structure shift over here, which then the market ended up going ahead and retracing back into, tapping this order block over here, and then leading to a breaker structure. Now, you guys are probably thinking, I just analyzed a buy setup. I'm analyzing my bias to be bullish. Why am I looking for sells? Why did I end up taking a sell? How did I know the market was even going to sell and end up hitting my take profit this day? Now, I teach this to my students all the time. You want to make sure that you're trading objectively. Trading objectively simply means when you're looking at both sides of the market, you're not marrying a bias, you're not marrying an idea that, okay, it has to be longs. Now, that's a skill and a thought process which I've trained into myself very young into my trading career. And that is whenever I make a bias, whenever I come in the market, I'll think, okay, what is the bias? Okay, everyone just saw bias, right? We just done exactly what we've done there. And then I'll go ahead and tell myself, okay, flip the script, look at it from a seller's point of view and ask yourself which one makes more sense. You have to be able to look at the market from a buyer's point of view and a seller's point of view, weigh out the pros and cons and figure out what is the most highest probability setup that's going to play out, a buy model or a sell model. Now, if we play price action on, you guys can see the market end up tapping into this bearish order block over here. Now, even though there's all of this liquidity at the highs, I knew that the highs weren't ready to get taken yet. I was able to predict that the market was going to go ahead and reverse and sell off and take out this low. How? Very simple. As you guys can see over here, this 4-hour bearish fair value gap was being respected. Now, once again, for those of you guys that are new to the channel, you guys know that when we're inside two opposing PD arrays, aka this 4-hour bullish fair value gap and this 4-hour bearish fair value gap, and we're respecting both, this means that we're most likely going to enter and create low probability market conditions. Now, in these cases, when the market is in between two opposing PD arrays, I usually tell my students not to trade, stay out. It doesn't make sense. The direction isn't clear. However, in some circumstances, you can still trade if you're able to predict which one is most likely going to hold. How was I able to do that? Very simple. I went over here and I looked at this low down here. Now, when I went to the left, I saw that we had this 4-hour order block over here. Now, if we just zoom out for a second, the market has sniped into this order block and barely even mitigated it. If we go down to the 1-hour time frame and go back here a little bit and zoom into this 4-hour POI, what can I see? There's a refined 1-hour order block over here. As you guys can see, if I mark it out for you, there's this 1-hour refined order block. Now, if we go ahead and look at current price action, what can you guys see? This order block hasn't been tapped into. The market came so close to tapping into it. So because of this, I knew that this low over here was a clear as day invitation to early buyers to enter the market, and this was going to cause a major inducement. And I asked myself again, what makes sense? We're pretty early on in the week. It makes sense for the market to now sell, take out these early buyers, form more structure for the next day, to then fly up and mitigate its POI. The market isn't in a valid state for it to end up flying off just yet. And another thing I want to teach you guys, whenever you guys look for your market structure shifts, just understand basic price action. If we turn off the indicators and everything real quick, and just look at basic market structure, you guys can see the market has a high and it has a low. This was a very clear breaker structure. Now, in order for the market to flip bullish, it has to take out this high that led to this new low. Anything internal is just a fake out. It's just an invitation to early buyers or sellers. And once again, if we drop down to like the 5-minute time frame, look at this huge sell-off compared to this little retracement over here. It's very choppy, it's very slow. So once the market ended up tapping into this high and failing to break past this structural point, I knew that this level over here was SMT. It was a smart money trap that invites an early buyers to go ahead and take them out. Another key giveaway, if we go down to the 1-minute time frame and really break things down, you guys can see that we had these two equal lows. So let's just say hypothetically, even if we were to buy, the market never ended up tapping into this imbalance or this order block level over here, and it made equal lows. So even if it was to buy, the least the market could go ahead and do is tap into this level down here and then fly off. There were just way too many signs that were showing me that this was a reaction to cause early buyers to enter the market. It wasn't a textbook buy model, it looked like an inducement. So here's where we start aligning some confluences. Cool, 4-hour time frame is bearish. It's respecting that 4-hour fair value gap that I showed you guys. The market is failing to break past this high. Now we can look for some confirmation confirmation in order to confirm that the market isn't ready to push up any higher. Now, if we put back on the indicator, you guys can see the Asia high never end up getting taken on ES. However, if we go over to RTY, and that's a gem for you guys. For those of you guys that use SMT divergences and trade using SMTs, you guys know that you can use NASDAQ and ES to look for like essentially SMT divergences. However, you can also use YM. Now, for those of you guys that don't know nothing about SMTs, go ahead and watch my last trade breakdown where I end up explaining. YM is basically just US 30 for you guys. And there's another one which no one really knows about, which is sort of gatekept in the trading industry. I don't know why. But RTY is another pair where if you don't find the SMT with NAS, if you don't find the SMT with YM, you can go over to RTY and look for an SMT divergence. This is another correlated pair. These 4 pairs over here, you can look for SMTs. Nevertheless, this day over here, RTY ended up taking out the Asia high, whilst also mitigating this market opening gap. So cool, SMT divergence is in place. Now dropping down to the lower time frame, at this point my bias still wasn't clear. It was a bit choppy. We were in between 2 opposing POIs. I didn't know if the market was gonna chop around for the rest of the day. For all I know, it could have just bounced in between these POIs and just chopped around. So I was waiting for a lot more structure to play out. So if we play price action on, you guys can see I'm simply waiting for a clear breaker structure towards the downside. Now what did the market end up doing? The market ended up creating this build up of liquidity over here, inducing out this high, mitigating this 1 minute POI over here, failing to break higher and instead breaking lower. Now for those of you guys that know about inducements, you guys will know when sellers are in control, the market will constantly induce highs, aka sweep liquidity at the highs and then break lower. We're inviting early sellers, take them out and then push lower for the real expansion to happen. Once again, you guys can sort of see the pattern playing out over here. A build up of liquidity, which the market is going to go ahead and induce, boom, inducement, mitigation of this high and then a push lower. So cool, at this point, once again, the market was still chopping around. I still wasn't too clear on the direction, so I simply waited for more structure. I also knew that when the market was going to go ahead and tap into this POI over here, buyers would look to enter the market. Now if buyers are going to look to enter the market, it's obviously going to cause a reaction. And in this case, I'd need to be careful on, okay, what do I do? So cool, the market taps this POI over here and ends up giving a reaction to invite in them early buyers. Once again, buyers are looking at this level like, okay, cool, we've had a market short shift, we've had a breaker structure, we've just tapped into the last unmitigated level. There's all of this liquidity at the highs. Let's go wait for some reaction, rejection, whatever they want to call it. They'll take a buy, put the stop loss on the low, and they'll go ahead and target wherever they want. However, because I've been trading objectively and because I've seen, okay, cool, there's an SMT divergence. This low is liquidity induced into a 1 hour unmitigated order block. We know PD rates have to get mitigated. We have equal lows below, which is the most easiest basic invalidation. Even if you didn't see why this low here has to get taken, if you see equal lows, you should not be putting your stop loss there, like full stop. Now just a quick side note, for those of you guys that don't know, me and my friend Sahib, we went back to working 9 to 5 jobs. As traders that make multiple 5 figures a month, we went back to rock bottom, literally 9 to 5 jobs, back to restaurant, peeling potatoes. And we documented the whole entire journey, as you guys see over here. Make sure you guys go ahead and watch the video. We documented the whole entire journey of us going ahead and using this money, getting funded with a profit firm and making a payout. If you guys haven't watched that video, make sure you guys go ahead and watch it. It's an absolute banger. And completely free of charge, we're doing a 3-day live trading event. On each one of these days, we're going to go over different topics. We're going to be covering psychology, trade breakdowns, exactly how we managed to do it. And we're going to be dropping you guys so many gems. Press the link and secure your spot now. It is literally for free. You have nothing to lose. And if you're unprofitable, this could generally be the turning point in your whole entire trading career. Joining this 3-day masterclass and taking your trading to the next level. Also, another thing over here, you guys can see this ES ended up failing to take out this high over here. So this is an internal SMT. Whereas on NASDAQ, if we zoom in real quick, you guys can see that this high ended up getting taken. So we had an SMT also on the lower time frame. Once again, just reading the finer details of price. The market is constantly inducing these highs, mitigating the POI and pushing down lower. Now at this point over here, I'm trying to figure out, okay, cool, where do I enter? Even if I want to look for a sell, where would I enter? So I played around with my time frames. I've seen on the 5 minute, okay, there's no clear imbalance. On the 3 minute, let's see if there's anything. No clear imbalance. Once again, dropping down to the 1 minute time frame, what can I see? Cool, price isn't the cleanest. I still need to find an unmitigated POI. So let's break this down. This 1 minute order block over here has been tapped into and respect. This 1 minute order block over here has been tapped into over here. You guys can see mitigation, mitigation. So we should no longer tap back into this level over here. The last sort of unmitigated level is over here. So at this point I understood, okay, the market doesn't really have a reason to push up higher. It's not going to go all the way up here, tap into the most premium fair value gap, mitigate it slightly more and then push down. We've already had multiple inducements. We have SMTs at the highs. All of these levels are mitigated. The only last unmitigated level is this 1 minute order block over here. And I understood that buyers that were looking to enter for this POI over here are going to enter and the market is going to give a fake reaction, aka rejection, to invite them in. And it's most likely going to go ahead and tap the first seller's point of interest and then push lower. So I've simply waited for some form of reaction. I wait for some form of displacement. As soon as this candle prints over here, I take a manual entry up on my stop loss on this high covering the order block and I went ahead and swung this entry down to this low down here. I said to myself that once we break past these 2 equal lows and mitigate this 15-minute fair value gap, I'm going to move my stop loss to break even because at this point the market could easily go ahead and reverse. So if we play this trade out, you guys can see the market ends up dumping straight towards the downside, makes more equal lows. So look what he's doing now. This is clearly a level of support which buyers are looking at. This here is identified SMT. We can go ahead and mark that out. It was clear as day a fake out to invite in early buyers. We've made more equal lows and now the market is going to go ahead and push back up. Now at this point, so many traders will be like, what do I do? Do I cash out early? Why is it giving a reaction? It's chopping, bad market conditions. What do I do? However, I understood that, okay, what does this move back up do? It serves a purpose clear as day, right? There's all of these imbalances over here that the market could go ahead and mitigate. So what did the market do? Done exactly that. tapped into that order block. At this point, I've seen, cool, this is a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. Why not look for a re-entry? The market's tapped back into this POI over here. I know the market's going to push down lower, so why not look for a re-entry to scale in positions? And that's exactly what I've done. You guys can see over here, the 6:02 p.m. candle never ended up getting taken on ES, whereas on YM, aka US30, the market ended up taking out this high, placing an SMT, mitigating this POI, and then pushing lower. So as soon as this SMT divergence formed and the market started to displace away, I took another entry. This trade, I've now trimmed my stop loss to this high over here, and the second entry, which I've scaled on, I put my stop loss on this high. Now I'm still risking 1%. However, I've just added slightly more contracts on this trade, which has allowed me to go ahead and make more. And if you play this trade out, you guys can see the market ended up taking out this low. Now, if I'm being honest, at this point, I didn't even set a take profit. Like, I was going to actually go ahead and target way lower. Like, I had no take profit on this trade. And the reason for that was I wanted to see how the market took out that low. I saw as well how we had all of this liquidity over here. So I never really expected the market to even react off of this 1 hour order block because it wasn't really a nice POI. So I was going to generally let this trade run and go to further TP levels. However, if you guys don't know, during this trade, I was performing Umrah, right? I was in Saudi Arabia. I was traveling and I literally just requested the 8K payout, got the account reset, and I was floating $8,000 again. Now, even though I can easily go ahead and let this trade run on and I could have made so much more, like another 3, 4, 5K maybe, I understood that, bro, just requested a payout, got another payout secured. I don't have to stress for the next 14 days on that account. So I ended up manually cashing out and taking 8K home for the day. Now, in terms of psychology, if we get a replay mode and show you guys what happened after that, the market did end up pushing a lot lower. It ended up tapping into my levels, which I wanted the market to go ahead and tap into. Now, I could have easily sat here and done the maths and said, oh, bro, if I held this trade, I would have made another I think it was $14,000 because I did check. But I could have made like $14,000, whatever, However, I've installed one key habit, which has allowed me to go so far in my trading career. And that's the mindset of being grateful and respecting money. A lot of you guys would look at what you could have made and what you should have made. And if you'd done this that day, you could have made so much more. And this mindset, it eats you up alive. Like, I used to have this mindset when I was unprofitable. It caused you to go into the next trading day, forcing out setups, trying to make back the money which you could have made as if the market owes you a penny. And it also creates a very ungrateful mindset. If you guys have watched my videos, you guys will know how I always talk about shukr, being grateful. Because when you're grateful for what you have, it's so much easier for you to be detached and make more. You're so thankful for what Allah's given you and you don't take it for granted. Days like this where you're floating $8,000, you go ahead and take that home. You understand that you've just requested the payout, you've got your account reset, you're floating a whole other 2-3 monthly salaries right there. Why not cash that out, secure the money, reinvest that back into your trading, trade your other accounts, whatever it may be? Why are you going to be greedy and put all your eggs in one basket and try and make more? That mindset of I could have made this, I could have done this if I held for a certain amount of time. There's a difference between what makes a profitable trader and an unprofitable trader. And in general, what makes a happy person and a flipping miserable person. So yeah, I was out and I was traveling, I understood that I was floating decent money, take it home. And that's exactly what I've done. Now, as you guys can see, account is up $8,000, got another 9 days to where I can request my payout. Go over to my payout section, as you guys can see. That same day I requested a 6.4K payout and yeah, I got another 6.4K payout secured. Nevertheless, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you guys have got this far, you guys should know the drill by now. Comment the word blue hoodie. I'm curious to see how many of you guys got this far. Once again, make sure you guys go ahead and secure your free slot in the 3-day live trading event that me and Sahib are going to host. Like, literally go ahead and do it like now after this video ends. Press the top link in the description, secure your spot, spin your ball on FX. Take care, my people.